Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and tonight we are going to make the final lines for the new beds on the next door property. Now, the most important thing for how we're laying this out is making it accessible for easy mowing. So we're gonna have a lot of square footage that's going to be turned into, growing space, but we're also gonna have turf remaining because we want to have a big open area in the middle so that when we have events, we will have room for a tent. So really the most important thing about this entire design is that the lawnmower can easily maneuver around. And so that's what we are going to come out and experiment. I have a feeling that some of the beds need to be made a little bit smaller, just so that the pathway openings are wide enough. I really like to have paths that two people at least can stand next to each other comfortably and walk through without touching. So that's gonna be my standard right now. Some of the pathways are only 4 foot wide, and I think they need to be at least 8 foot wide. But I'm excited for David to hop on the lawnmower and, well, make the final lines once and for all. Okay, so as you can see, when I first started spraying, I immediately made the line wrong. So I love the dots, and I'm just gonna connect the dots now. How's that look?
That looks pretty good.
That's all concrete space. And all of this will be concrete space as well. So it's gonna be a great big east facing patio. We'll be able to have table and chairs, and I think this is gonna be a really nice area, primarily because this gets shade at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, whereas the backyard is full blazing sun, and it's completely unusable all summer long. So as we're looking at it, this bed currently goes all the way around and way up. But from a logistics perspective, I think this actually needs to be open because it's the area that connects the 2 yards. So I think instead this is gonna be the kind of straight bed. And then we'll have a small bed up there, and then this side is actually going to be what comes down. So this will be open. I think that's going to be a better option.
It's quick.
So this is an opening. And I think we want it to be sort of a grand opening. I was hoping to at some point have like an arbor or something, but I don't think this is not wide enough. So to make it make sense to the house, David's right, this line needs to go that way more. Oh my gosh, what you guys can't see on this video, the number of gnats that are out right now. They're really miserable. Oh. Okay, we've got the new bed lines marked, and now David's gonna run around on the lawnmower and see how easy it is to mow with these curves. Yeah. I think we've done everything very mower friendly, but this is really, really important to take into consideration when you're building a new garden. You're designing a space, you've got to design it for your equipment, otherwise maintaining it becomes such a problem. I just wish there was something we could do about the gnats. Oh my gosh. I think the on-site modifications were really, really important, and really this is such a critical step that prior to this property, I didn't realize how important having a garden that made accessing equipment, how important that was. But I do fully understand it now. And so I'm really trying to encourage all of you to be as practical and pragmatic as you can be, recognizing that like maintaining that amount of bed space is work enough. You don't need to make mowing around it harder. Now, of course, you see the giant open spaces. None of those are where beds are going, but the turf that's going to be torn out from the beds is going to get put in place there, so it won't be wasted. So just from experience, this is actually my 4th garden that I'm building from scratch. I've really learned a lot, particularly managing our property, which the beds are significantly larger. It's a lot more square footage. And to be perfectly frank, I can't make this garden as big as that because I have to manage both. So I can always make the gardens bigger over time, but to get started, and particularly getting started in the beginning of June when it's like 100 degrees every single day, I need to be realistic about what I'm capable of doing. And this is I think a really great start, and I think it's gonna look awesome. I can't wait to break ground. And obviously at this time of year there's not going to be a lot that is like perennial that gets planted. There'll be a handful of things, but I'm primarily just going to be cover cropping this, and I'm really excited to be able to share that journey with all of you, because I think it's something we can all learn a lot from, to see different cover crops and how they impact the overall soil health, and how we can use that biomass to mow back in place and add organic matter. I mean, as you can see, the sand here, it's basically like being at the beach. There's no organic matter in the native soil at all. And so my job as a gardener is just constantly to be adding organic matter to improve the soil and, actually make it so there's better microbiology present here. And that takes a lot of time. I mean, if you think about it, my other garden's 11 years old. It's not going to be instant, that's for sure. But I can't wait to continue to make progress and to share it with all of you. And I appreciate you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for regular updates as we continue to make more and more progress breaking ground at the Carolina Garden House.